Beautiful souls, welcome back to Athena's Garden TV. I'm Liz. I hope you enjoyed contemplating the map of consciousness and vibrational frequencies and incorporate it into your daily life to understand what's your vibe and how to raise your vibration. Well, buckle up. Today we're going a little bit deeper. We're talking about the 12th dimensions and what 5D New Earth actually means and how your soul's journey connects to everything we've discussed so far. What I'm about to present is my own interpretation and synthesis adapted from my personal experience, interfaith, and interdisciplinary intertextual knowledge, and my mentors here on Earth, Natasha, Cosmic Empress, and Tiffany Tin, and guidance from my Council of Nine in the higher dimensions. And my goal isn't to convince you of any particular belief system, but to get you to thinking about energy and your soul's journey in a way that's non-denominational and hopefully helpful. I understand that a lot of people are uncomfortable with the word God or prefer to identify as atheist or agnostic. And again, I'm not here to convert you, but I believe that spirituality is accessible to everyone. As long as you're willing to keep an open mind, this video is for you.
If you're new here and my content resonates with you, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. My goal is to build a community of conscious souls, and together we can explore the intersection of spirituality, science, and creativity.
I've completely adjusted my visuals here and expanded the vibrations and frequencies to include what I see as the 12 dimensions. Now, others might use 9th or 10th dimensions in their models, but I like and prefer to use 12. So we're currently living here in the 3rd dimension, and this is the physical or material reality we all agree on and observe together, just like in physics. This is where we have our shared human experience. But you've probably heard people talking about 5D New Earth or living in 5D. What does that actually mean? How can Earth or Gaia or humans living here experience ascension if we are stuck in the 3D material world? Here's where it gets really fascinating. Let's integrate this with Dr. Hawkins scale or map of consciousness that we covered in part 1. If you are operating in a base state of 500 and above on the map of consciousness, we're actually accessing what I call creator energy. At this level, you are constantly communicating successfully with the universe and actively creating your dream life. Whatever you desire from your thoughts, you are manifesting them and speaking them into reality. So just to add a random fun factoid, Abracadabra is believed to be derived from an Aramaic and ancient Semitic language from Syria, Iraq, Turkey, and Lebanon, meaning I will create as I speak. So that's not stage magic, that's the power of high vibrational manifestation from the spoken word. Now, if you're not operating at that level yet, please don't worry. I'm sharing this to show you that the pathway is absolutely available to you if that's what you want for yourself. You can raise your vibration when changing your emotional state. And if you want the more science-heavy version of this, I encourage you to read up on quantum entanglement and the research that won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2022. The science is catching up with what mystics have known for millennia, and I've linked one article in the description. You can check that one out. Remember how I mentioned in part 1 that we're moving up and down the consciousness scale when we experience different things in life? Almost like a figure 8, right? Or maybe a sine wave, as we put it in math. So to put simply, Ascension means working towards having a higher base state on the scale. And this is why we call spiritual advanced individuals ascended masters. They've already done the work. the inner work. They've descended and then ascended many times through their various incarnations, and they maintain a base Hawkins calibration of 500 to 700 or maybe even higher. So if you look at my dimensional chart, you can see that this range corresponds to 5D to 7D. They're literally operating from higher dimensions of consciousness while still having their physical body present in our 3D reality. Here's what's important. If you're currently calibrating in the 200 to 400 range, that doesn't mean that you can't access higher vibrations and dimensions in order to manifest and ascend. We all have access to the full spectrum, as mentioned. It's about conscious choice and a lot of practice. Now let's look at something that some spiritual teachers may want to avoid, but it's nonetheless important. To start, I want to move past the binary system of good and evil and reframe this as choices we make as souls having a human experience. The Hermetic principle of correspondence states, as above, so below, as below, so above. So if we have 12 positive dimensions, we also have 12 negative dimensions. Now, what do these negative dimensions look like? Well, in many religious texts and artwork across Eastern and Western cultures, these are depicted as various levels of hell. And you've probably seen these images in museums or houses of worship around the world. When looking at these depictions, it is best to look at it beyond good and evil. As an example, if you've watched Stranger Things, it's depicted as the upside down world, a realm where negative energies and entities do exist. But here's what's crucial to understand. Negative-oriented souls exist among us right here in the third dimension. You can identify them because they operate purely from service to self using what Dr. Hawkins called force instead of power. They walk among us every day. You just turn on the TV and scroll through social media and think about the people in life you don't resonate with at all. I'm talking about those expressing the classic 7 deadly sins in the way that causes harm to others. It's just an example, but these include politicians, criminals, predatory entrepreneurs, narcissists, energy vampires, bullies, and dictators who promote censorship and manipulation. It includes those pushing genetic mutations or invasive neural implant or pushing technology on us. Literally anyone trying to convince you that you need some external enhancement to evolve and to maximize your human potential or becoming superhuman. You already know something sounds off about that. But remember, our reality is built on duality. At the end of the day, it comes down to the choices we make every single day, every moment. We can choose to wallow in disappointment, tragedy, hopelessness, and destructive patterns, or we can consciously focus on releasing and finding meaningful resolutions and cultivating bliss, serenity, and peace. The choice is always yours. Since we're talking about the negative dimensions, I thought I would bring up something I've talked about before here, but just a little refresher about negative entities. And some people are worried about, can negative entities access me through the Akashic records? And the short answer is no, they cannot access your Akashic records. And here's why. Negative entities and negative-oriented souls can only access up to the 4D astral plane. They are literally unable to access what's above because they're not an energetic match to those vibrational fields. Plus, there are what we call gatekeepers and portal guardians who maintain these energetic boundaries. So you don't have to worry about that. The real question is, can negative entities or negative-oriented people access you in other ways? And yes, they can. Just look at these categories. These are literally humans walking among us in the third dimension. Just earlier I mentioned when I look at TV and social media, I sometimes think this person is no longer human, or they're no longer operating from their human heart center. And this is exactly why It's so important to consciously raise your vibration and manage your energy states. When you're operating from lower frequencies, you become a vibrational match for those energy in those negative categories. The longer you stay there, the easier it becomes to spiral further downward. The good news is that the system is perfect by design, and this is why the yin-yang symbol is so powerful and resonates with so many people. At any moment, you can make a choice to vibrate higher. Esoteric Taoism teaches us that when you have the courage to do the right thing, and when you walk a path of justice and love for your fellow humans, your chi emanates strongly from the center of your energy field. And this is also where Carl Jung got inspiration for animus anima and shadow work and psycho-spiritual integration. Another video for another time. But this integration, transmutation, inner alchemy with your emotions will create this strong energy center that automatically repels negative entities that try to come near you. It's like having a natural force field of high vibrational protection. If you find yourself operating from lower frequencies, you can focus on transforming those negative emotions. For example, transforming anger into compassion, fear into love and joy. This allows you to live your highest timeline and reach your full human potential. My intention in creating these videos is to remind you that you, yes, you, are powerful by design. As Rudolf Steiner states, in the angelic hierarchy, the human form is actually the 10th angelic tier. We are spirits of freedom and love. You've got this incredible potential built right into your very being. And I want to briefly mention that if you choose to use plant medicine to alter your consciousness or your frequency, please do so with the proper guidance, intention, and protection with a facilitator that is trained to properly guide you. When you alter your consciousness through substances like plant medicine, you're typically moving from the 3D awareness into the 4th dimension. Maybe you can go beyond. It just depends. Generally, what you experience is in the astral plane, but it doesn't mean that it's not powerful. Plant medicine is not a route I would choose for myself, as I can go there without the substances if I wanted to. But in recent years, since there's been a surge of legitimate scientific studies on psychedelics for treating various conditions, but please remember that some of these substances that you're taking are taking you to the 4th dimension, where both positive and negative entities exist. It is the realm of the magicians and does contain a lot of cosmic intelligence from light beings, but that's not the only entities that hang out there. You don't want to get stuck there in the 4th dimensional loop with negative entities, so user discretion is advised. If you choose to explore these paths, please do so with the proper guidance and protection. Know what dimensions you're accessing and prepare accordingly after researching before you embark on a plant medicine journey. Here's what I want you to take away from this video today. You are not a victim of your circumstance or your current vibrational state. You have the power to choose moment to moment how you want to show up in the world, whether you're operating from the 3D survival mode or accessing higher creator consciousness. Remember that this is all about the journey of your soul's evolution, and there is no judgment here, only awareness, choice, and infinite potential for growth. I'm curious to know, what dimensions do you feel you're most often operating from? Have you had experiences that feel like they're coming from the 5th dimension? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you need support on this journey, I'm here for you. I offer remote energy healing sessions and Akashic Records readings to help you navigate your soul's path with clarity and empowerment. If this content is helping you expand your consciousness, please consider liking the video and subscribing to Athena's Garden TV. I try to share and teach practical techniques for accessing higher dimensions safely, including meditation practices and energy protection. Remember, beautiful souls, you chose to be here during this incredible time of planetary awakening. You have everything you need within you to not just survive, but to thrive and ascend. So keep choosing love, keep raising your vibration, and keep shining your light. I'm Elizabeth Garden, and I'll see you in my next video.